Hi, everyone. We're back again for TMC Today, which is the podcast on all things TMC Technologies, or like what we like to call it, Team TMC. And joining me for episode number 2 is the brilliant and innovative Executive Vice President and Chief Strategist, Jeff Edgell. And Jeff, we've been together for almost 3 years. One of the things that I think is really interesting is how you brought this philosophy, this kind of business approach to life and work, and how you've used that to help us really grow and become, in my mind, a much better, more responsive company. Talk a little bit about this approach and how it works.
Well, I just apply kind of things I've learned throughout my life and things I try to live by. I mean, my overall philosophy is probably beyond. If we're going to do a multi-series, then we can go into that. But just some general nuggets of this. I've learned a lot about the way I do things, from everything from teachers in my past to organized sports to colleagues and former managers, where I've learned some very great things from and some very bad things from to avoid. Right.
So give me some examples of some of the great things that you maybe applied to life and also to TMC.
Yeah. Well, so focusing on the execution of what you do is very important. Right. So. The ability to strive for excellence in what you do is critical, and that's not saying that you have to be or achieve that excellence, but understanding where the top of the mountain is, and each day looking at how you can improve, how you can do something better, how you can chip away at reaching that top of the mountain. You may never get there. But if you can, at the end of the day, say, okay, I've improved here, I've done this better, I've improved myself, I've improved something for my customer, that's a goal you want to have. I personally look for that in myself, and when I say excellence as well, it is putting forward your best effort, right?
Yeah.
And that's all I ever expect out of anybody. Anybody that works with me, works for me, partners.
Right.
If you're putting forth your best effort, that's all I can ask, right? And it's up to me. If you're struggling and your best effort's not good enough, then maybe I need to get you training. Maybe I need to get you into a mentoring relationship. Maybe I need to get you in a different position where your strengths are better utilized.
What about some of the pitfalls that you've seen in your career, and how do you avoid them, or how did you avoid them here? So far, anyway.
So a big problem in especially our industry is we're judged a lot on what we know, and our abilities, and I encourage everybody to be. It's okay to say I don't know something. If I know that, if you tell me that, I can help you. Right. But if you're trying to fake it, then we're all in a problem, because eventually we're all going to find out you don't know it.
Yeah.
And then we're scrambling trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Another thing that I've seen that's been, in my estimation, a bad example of leadership is leadership highly frowning on failure. And when I say, so failure obviously is a bad thing, but it's okay to fail. And leadership needs to encourage people to try to stretch themselves, do things new, which inevitably there's going to be failures from time to time, and that's okay.
Well, that's how you learn.
That's right.
I mean, that's life, basically.
That's right.
You got to, when you fall down, you get up and you try to not fall down again. Since Jeff came on board, we've had a lot of changes at our company. Generally staying with the same customers, but we've grown. So let's just go back to 2019. First things started happening at the FBI Gray Wolf Data Center in Pocatello, Idaho. Didn't have any work there. Now we have 4 people. We started growing work at the U.S. Air Force in Colorado and New Mexico. We grew a lot of work at the Naval Surface Warfare Center in Dahlgren, Virginia. I mean, that place has just really hit critical mass almost. And what's interesting is another statistic that I had to ask around to understand is that our revenue has grown from December of 2018 until this year, 42%. Now, we're still a small company, but that is a significant impact. Obviously, it's a team. You're top to bottom. You have Wade Linger, but you brought in this kind of aggressive, approach, and I witnessed it because I was here. What, how'd you do it? How did it happen? What's the secret?
Well, not to put
not to give everything away. Right, we don't want to do that.
But yeah, so we use an approach that is, as far as selecting opportunities we're going to go after and how we're going to pursue them, is very scrutinizing. It's a graded system. A lot of people like to utilize P-win in assessing opportunities, which, I always say that's kind of black magic. What does 90% P-win really mean? So we kind of go through a scoring system that allows us to say, okay, if you're bringing an opportunity to the table, have you done the things you need to do? Are you doing the things you need to do to maximize our ability to be successful in this pursuit? And then also allow us as a management team to scrutinize those things we should be chasing. A lot of companies make the mistake of the inability to say no. And then they spread themselves too thin.
Very common problem.
And then they're not able to provide the maximum amount of focus on an opportunity. And then they kind of do a halfway good enough job on many things versus focusing on those things that give them the greatest opportunity and really winning those.
So, and another element that I think is part of that is your interest. I remember when you first started, we were talking about trying to figure out ways to bring the staff together. Every company has a Christmas party or a holiday event or, something after hours. But, the idea here was to figure out ways to bring people together and kind of make this team feeling almost like a family. So we started doing these little contests and things like that. The tailgate, I think, is and was a magnificent success because it brought customers. In your background, did you learn that maybe this is a mistake companies make where they don't involve their staff or don't, is that what you wanted to apply here?
Yeah. So first of all, in any organization, your people are your most important asset that you have. And if you believe anything else, you're just fooling yourself. The people are what makes up the organization. And I just time and time again see so many people in our area of business where the people doing a lot of the work, the people at the FBI, the people at NASA, the people at the CIA, wherever they're working, the back office folks like us, they hire them, they talk to us, they say, welcome aboard, and then that's it. You never see them again. I want you to work here because you enjoy working here, not because our name's on your paycheck and that's the only loyalty that you have to us. You really believe and feel the fact that we care about you. And, when I agree to bring somebody in, my focus is you're here for a career, not just a job. So when, this contract runs out, we're ready to move on to the next thing. And getting to know people, getting to know their strengths, building those relationships are the most important thing. And the more I know about you, the more I can help cultivate your career, the more I can help develop the next thing. And the more I can support your career, that's very important to me. And I'm proud to say that I think I could see any individual in the organization. I know their name. I've talked to them. I've met them.
I want to switch gears a tiny bit to your personal life.
Okay.
Not too personal, but just a little bit, because you're a motorcycle enthusiast. And you're a painter, which I just learned that.
Yeah.
Pretty neat. I mean, how do you? What's the value of that side of your brain? Because when you're here, it's very focused, it's intense. Government contracting is very intense. How do you manage that?
So,
it's an easy question, I guess.
Yeah. Well. So the way this all kind of came about, a little bit of personal interest and just things that I've gravitated to over the years. But what I find with both of those things is, when I go home or on the weekend, sometimes it's hard to shut off the business side of things.
Absolutely.
And let my head clear. And taking the motorcycle out for a drive, you got to focus on what you're doing, and that's keeping the bike on the road and upright. And so you really can't be letting your mind drift, otherwise you end up in a bad situation. So I guess my wife's detriment, I enjoy long motorcycle rides, and sometimes she doesn't like sitting on the back for as long as I do, like being out on the road. But it does. It helps me kind of reclaim myself a little bit and clear the memory. And a lot of times then if I'm dealing with struggling with something or trying to come up with a solution, it freshens things up, and then I have a new fresh perspective. And then
painting, yeah. I mean, that to me is, interesting.
Yeah.
It's kind of similar where you're really, thinking, but it's also often a different place.
Yeah. So with painting, it engages the other side of my brain. Right. So I don't use that side, the artistic side, so much. So a lot of what it does is it inspires that creativity and that artistic side, which then I think ultimately stimulates back into the way I approach things in business, because it opens up kind of thought processes and it is relaxing and all of that as well.
It sounds fun. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we kind of covered everything, Jeff, and I got to say, it's great having you for this second episode. Folks, we're going to keep doing these episodes, these video podcasts on all things TMC Technologies. We like to call it Team TMC, and we're excited to talk about more things in the near future. So, folks, thanks for watching. For Jeff Edgell, I'm John Dahlia. We will see you soon. Take care, everyone.